It's Thursday night. It's time for Ask Melissa Almost Anything, where we love to talk about your life and your body, where we believe you always have a choice and where you go for your health care, that your health is your responsibility, and most importantly, where we believe that pain is not normal. I'm Melissa, your host with Nephew Physical Therapy. Tonight, we're talking headaches, migraines, neck pain, maybe a little numbness and tingling. Depends where our questions go, depends on who joins us. Be sure to put your comments or your questions in the chat as you join us this evening. So one of the things that I have noticed, what week are we in this pandemic? Week 27,000? I think it's week 9 or 10. I think that's about where we're at. And as I have been back in the gym, back on the treatment floor, working directly with patients, we have actually seen a number of people who are noticing some different aches and pains because their world changed. No longer are they possibly going to the office with the adjustable desk. They're working from home. Or no longer are they getting separation from their kids and family. They also are, because for some, not all, not me, for some, life has really slowed down for people, and they're actually acknowledging that they're in pain. It's a very fascinating thing where I think people have lived with it, and I think that's, again, where we don't believe pain is normal, but people have come to accept that in the long term, I should just always have pain. And because, for the most part, many of us are very, very busy and we're always on the go, we don't slow down enough and ask ourselves the question, wait a minute, did I know that my shoulder blade always hurt? Wow, I have headaches a lot, but I'm not doing this or that or the things that I thought that caused it. And so we have seen a number of people come into the office with reports of having migraines during this time. Now migraines, right, totally different scenario where than a headache. I often feel like a migraine is a headache on steroids, right? Where you don't want any lights on, quiet, you need lots and lots of quiet, darkness, by yourself, all of those kind of things. And when somebody says that they've had a migraine for days, to be honest, it sounds miserable to me. It sounds absolutely miserable. So here's the scenario though. Few people reported migraines, headaches for weeks at the beginning of all this and finally decided to come to therapy. And they have actually proved my hypothesis that many headaches or migraine issues have an underlying neck issue. So think about that, right? My repeat headaches, we're talking about repeat offenders, right? People who regularly have headaches, regularly experience migraines. Now again, I know that there are situations where people have this reoccurring migraine that happens that has a different medical reason. What I want to propose tonight for you headache sufferers, for you migraine sufferers, is could it possibly be more connected to the mechanics and function of your neck than you think? So Lori's written a couple of comments here that said, ironically, her headache happened this afternoon with a neck strain while working. Yes, right? We can get headache pain because we strain our neck. But she says it's a common job thing for her, which that sounds horrible. Oh, and then of course she adds not enough sleep and too much sugar. Yes. So my first thing when I have a headache, or if my kids say they have a headache, and I have a son who used to have more headaches, I always say drink water. I will be honest, anything that hurts my kids and me, the first response is drink water. Because our muscles are 65 to 75% water. All right? So they need a nice fluid environment for them to be working, okay? So if we're not consuming enough water, our muscles aren't going to function the way they're supposed to, okay? So dehydration can obviously be a contributing factor to a headache. And you'll know that because it'll resolve pretty quickly with some water, right? Which is, again, as I do these things, I am talking like crazy and I get parched and dry. So water, the first thing. The second thing, however, when we're talking about the function of the neck, okay? And that's where there are some referral patterns or traveling pain patterns that are very common in relationship between a headache and the neck, all right? So if I say a ram horn pattern, what does that make you think of? Hopefully you think of a ram horn that has that like curly Q kind of horn, right? That comes around, okay? Except for that is a very common referral pattern for right through here, your upper trap, levator scap, right through there, right? Poke there enough, you'll find something that's sore, especially if you have bad posture. We'll get to that eventually, okay? But that muscle, if this is really hot, can radiate, okay? It can come up here and come all the way around kind of to your forehead. So it creates that circular ram horn distribution, as we call it. So when somebody comes and says they have a headache, I'm like, where is it? I'm like, is it like this? Oh yeah, it travels around. So that is often an indicator of overuse. Okay, I'm not going to say tightness, overuse, relying on this little muscle here too much. Okay, so that's where, again, what is the origin of the headache? And my goal tonight is to challenge you to think about the contributing factors to a headache. Lori already commented in that below, right? Not enough sleep, okay, for sure, right? Not enough water, not eating healthy. Those are all those different things. I'm talking about the mechanical component, okay? The muscle and joint component, about how all that stuff works together, all right? That's what we're talking about. And so my question always is, again, for long-term chronic headache sufferers on and off, what I do then, and what we did with the individuals that we've been seeing, right, is actually there's a loss of motion in their neck, muscle tightness, weakness in the postural muscles that hold them up. And when we dig deeper into that neck, we can find signs of disc involvement or disc compression. Again, that weakness in those postural muscles or horrible posture. And so, especially with high functioning individuals. So when I say high functioning, we're talking about very active, very healthy, not taking any meds regularly, healthy, fit, all those kind of things, right? Which is the individuals that we've been seeing right now. Healthy, fit, active, all those kind of things. But this migraine, oh, look at me, not enough sleep, right? Headache issue, as we dug a little bit deeper, which figuratively and actually, digging into that neck, looking for that loss of motion, looking for, is rotation equal, okay? So if you are a headache sufferer, here's the first thing I want you to do. Check your rotation. Now, when you're checking range of motion of your neck, you need to have good upright posture, okay? Slouching always removes range of motion from your neck and shoulders, okay? So we're upright. The next thing I want you to do, and preferably in front of a mirror, because you might need to watch, or have somebody take a picture, is you're going to turn as far as you can go one direction, all right? So I'm turning my head as far as I can go. I am also assessing, do I have increased pain, tightness, and what side is that on? So I'm turning as far as I can. All right, I can almost get my chin to my shoulder. Know that I'm not turning my shoulder to my chin. Now I'm going to turn to the right, or the reverse image on your screen would look like it's to the left. So I'm going to turn that way. See, notice how, of course, even I'm like, look at how close I can get, right? So I need to be upright and turn, okay? So I want those things to be equal. You'll know somebody at the grocery store who's having neck pain because they turn that you say their name, or at home and they're like, hi, how are you, right? They turn their head with their shoulders, okay? Meaning there can be an underlying issue of the neck. Here's the other thing you need to think about when it comes to that head, right? Your head sits on your shoulders, okay? The neck supports all that. if we, again, are not addressing posture, okay, which means a flexible chest, strong shoulder blades, okay, we're going to rely on weaker muscles or tinier muscles. So again, we'll go back to that levator scapulae, upper trap right through here. When my head comes forward, right, can you feel how that gets tighter? Put your hand right there. Feel it gets tighter? When I get upright, that lessens. So this goes to one of the questions we posed this week. I always feel like my neck is tight. Okay, what stretches do I do? My perspective is you don't stretch your neck. Now, I don't know anybody else that necessarily believes that, but let me explain why I don't actually advocate for neck stretching. First of all, many people have a nerve issue or a disc issue, and if you start stretching or forcing your neck, you will make your symptoms worse. Almost always, because people only stretch forward to the side, right? Right there. Neck stretching is all about flexion, right? We bring our head forward, we bring it to our armpit, we bring it sideways, we do all those things, okay? Why would we? Okay, so first of all, I don't want to do it because of a possible nerve or disc issue. Second reason, why would I stretch in the direction where I'm spending half my life already? Think about that. If I always have my head forward, right, and I'm always rounded, why would I want to push my muscles more forward so I can look at the floor more? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't logically make sense to me. Why would I just stretch? Because again, if I keep stretching that neck, does that make that neck less tight? I say, okay, so there's another reason why I don't stretch the neck. Is there a third reason why I don't like to stretch the neck? I'm thinking, well, disc or nerve, more flexion. We already are too flexed. And it doesn't change anything, right? Stretching the neck, I don't think it changes anything in regards to how the neck functions. The neck functions best, okay? This is where I say, instead of what stretch should I do, okay, because my neck is always tight, what strengthening exercise should I do to take off that thing here? What I will say, okay, is that we need to stretch down here, all right? And we'll review that foam roller stretch that we've talked about many weeks. I've got mine right here, okay? But what we need to be to take tension off the neck is we need to be upright. Well, to be upright, we need to engage our shoulder blades. We need to pull those shoulders back. And when I do those things, this muscle, oh, that's a lot softer, right? Can you tell that? Feel that. I'm here. Oh, that's tight. Oh, I carry my tension, right? Okay, sit up straight, pull the shoulder blades down back in towards your pockets, and feel. Oh, look at that. I just fixed my neck tension. Here's the problem. Gravity always wins. You're going to get tired of holding that. So what we need to do is we need to work on shoulder blade strengthening. We need to build the strength between the shoulder blades. Because I know very few people, unless you're really, really good about doing planks regularly, where your shoulder blades are engaged backwards, by the way, and you're really good at engaging them with rows, most people do not spend enough time addressing the postural muscles of the shoulder blades. And a majority of shoulder issues and neck issues can, those pain symptoms, whatever, show up because of a lack of support through those muscles. Because again, we sit too much, gravity wins, we're flexed, we're forward, we're all of these things, okay? And for the most part, if you are good at lifting weights, how much weight do people bench press? People who are really strong are benching 300, 400, 500 pounds. Now, yes, your pecs are designed to be much stronger. But when people row, and they row correctly, not this whole body rocking and rowing thing, we can really move a lot less muscles between those shoulder blades, okay? So we really need to provide a little bit of counter balance at least, okay? So let's talk about, we want to talk about what stretch to do. I'm going to show you what strengthening exercise you need to do to engage those shoulder blade muscles. Now this, I've talked about this probably before, and with my history of neck issues, bulging disc, headaches, the whole thing, and my symptoms can vary from feeling tight here in my neck, headache, to having numbness and tingling into my thumb and down my arm. And sometimes it's a deep ache, okay? Or shoulder blade, okay? Don't forget that shoulder blade. I'm telling you, friends, shoulder blade symptoms, 99% certain it's coming from your neck. Unless you know. Oh wait, I take that back. 98% certain, because I've actually seen one scapular fracture in my 20 years of being a therapist. One. You're like, how do you, your shoulder blade? You ever know anybody to break their shoulder blade? No. You know how the guy did it? Giant slip and slide, ran into a tree. Just happens, right? So, but what we're going to talk about, oh my goodness, right? Hydration. Let me show you how we're going to spend time on the floor at the end of a day when you say, oh, I have tension in my shoulders, and you don't have access to a massage therapist or your spouse isn't willing to rub your shoulders. This is what I suggest you do, okay? So we're gonna get on the floor. I'm gonna do my best to talk to you while my face is, looking into the carpet, all right? So what we're doing, we're on our belly, all right? Okay, I'm laying flat on my tummy, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay flat on the floor, and I am going to pull my shoulder blades together. All right, let me make sure we get a good angle at this. A little bit more down. There we go. Okay, so I'm flat here on the floor. Okay, I've got my head down. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull my shoulder blades together. So I want to demonstrate this without having my neck cranked, because you really want to have your neck straight down at the floor. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I am taking my arms and I am lifting and I'm holding. So I prefer, and I'm already starting to shake on my right side because that's my weak shoulder. That's the one that's had some nerve damage. But I'm squeezing and forcing. I am not feeling this in my neck, okay? Keep that in mind. It is all here between my shoulders. So I'm holding that, okay? I'm not shrugging, okay? I'm squeezing those shoulder blades together. Now, if you by chance notice some symptoms in your low back, squeeze your glutes, okay? It will, I don't know if you can even tell, right? I squeeze my glutes, I pelvic tilt. I take some pressure off my back. So I'm going to squeeze those butt cheeks as tight as I can if I need that counter stability to hold my body in place while I squeeze those shoulder blades together, okay? So again, I'm here, normally head neutral, okay? I am pulling my shoulder blades back. Now, modifications to this can include full T, okay? Sometimes I isolate one side, okay? You can do them down here. If you have a painful shoulder and you can't get your arms up here, put your arms at your side and lift and hold. That will also work your muscles differently. I don't often recommend people start out with a Superman where you are here and you're lifting your arms, because that's very, very, very hard to do, okay? So spending time on your tummy at the end of a day, which is the stuff that I will do if in fact I do come home because I sat too much, I was on the computer too much, any of those things, and I just hold it as long as I can to engage those muscles, to get them fired. And again, if you have one side that's more problematic than the other, like I do, this one will start shaking and twitching and will fatigue much faster than this. So we're working with a lot of these exercises to fatigue, because I hate counting. So this looks more like 5 or 10 minutes of time on the floor, okay? Just working on getting those muscles engaged, pulling them back, doing all those kind of things, okay? So pretty simple activity. And if you noticed, then I'm also doing that chin tuck that we've talked about with some other things. We're getting that chin back, and then I'm holding here. So I'm activating everything on the back of my neck and between the shoulder blades, okay? One of the great ways to build strength, again, if you're somebody who regularly says, oh, I have so much tension, give that muscle some support. Build the strength between the shoulder blades. Get a better upright posture. It'll make a big difference, okay? All right. So what's the other factor then when it comes to building strength in the back of the shoulder, because we're tight through here? I said there is one stretch I would recommend, and that's our foam roller, okay? So this is 6 inches wide, approximately, and 3 feet long, okay? So this will work pretty much for any body type, unless you're 8 feet tall, but this one works pretty good. Now, in the office, we have variations in sizes. I actually just sent home a smaller one that's probably half the diameter to somebody who just had an AC joint separation. And the reason I sent something smaller is because I'm not sure that that shoulder that just got separated is going to be able to allow to open as much because it's painful. So this is a firmer roller. So this is usually for a healthier individual. We have a different version. They just happen, this is black, they happen to be white in the office, which is a little softer, a little less dense. And then again, we have a smaller one. And then we have all the way down to the pool noodle. If you don't have a foam roller, you can use a bunch of towels and wrap them up, but I'm telling you, I just don't think it's worth it. I think it's worth spending the 20 or 30 bucks to get a foam roller so that you can stretch well whenever you want to, okay? And as I say regularly, this is the easiest exercise you will do all day. Easiest thing you can do for your neck, your shoulders, that tension, a headache, all of those things. This is something that we're using with probably every single one of our patients, unless they can't tolerate it because they're low back or whatever. But this is probably one of the most commonly used exercise with our clients that have neck, shoulder, elbow, wrist, any of those things, right? Because as soon as I slouch, everything rolls in, okay? All right, so this one, as I always say, the mount and the dismount is hilarious, okay? Because everyone looks funny. You have a seat right on that bottom, okay? And I'm gonna lay back on this roller, okay? Well, hello, Christine. Good to see you. All right, so I am laying on my roller, okay? There's no shame in my game, right? All right, so I'm laying on my roller. Oh my goodness, you guys, just talk amongst yourselves. Oh, I'm sorry, like, oh, it feels so good. Basically, I'm doing two things here, okay? It's opening up, it's preventing hunchback, and it's opening up my chest. My neck is relaxed, my knees are bent, with my feet flat on the floor. Oh, I'm just opening right up. I'm telling you why I don't do this every day. Oh my goodness, it's foolish. I just need to have this remind me because I am sitting too much. I am sitting at my home computer doing Zoom meetings and helping the kids with homework, and I'm on a board, and I'm doing my Bible study group from my computer. I'm doing all those things from my computer. I'm sitting. Good, Christine. I love that you love the roller. This is one of the simplest things. But I always say it needs to be done in conjunction with some strengthening. And when people don't tolerate this well, I mean, I always think it's a good time to come to physical therapy anyway if you're having some aches and pains. But if you don't tolerate laying on the foam roller well, it may indicate that you need some little extra help. And that's, of course, where the spectrum of aches and pains come, right? Like, we're covering a variety of different topics here on Thursday night because I want you to better understand your body, right? Let's talk about your life and your body, because you need to have as many options and understand kind of how the healthcare system works a little bit. Because did you know that you don't need a referral to go to physical therapy? You can come see us for 10 visits or 21 days, 3 weeks, whatever comes first. Now, if we get a signature, we will always send a report over to your primary care physician or a specialist, okay? But we will always, if you don't have a referral, we still want to be in connection with your primary care provider. And so what we will do is we'll send that report off. If they get it, they understand, or you've given them a verbal heads up, a lot of times they'll just go, oh, that's great, they're getting help. I knew that shoulder bothered them. Oh, I knew that neck problem, right? They often sign off on it. We're keeping them updated. If we think you need something more, right, we will work with them to do that. So keep in mind, as we're talking about these things, right, this is your weekly disclaimer that says I have not evaluated you, I have not touched you, I have not measured your range of motion, I haven't assessed if I think you have a disc or not, disc issue in your neck. or a nerve issue or a broken bone, okay? These are good general things to do, which done in our office under direction of a therapist with follow-through, by the way, okay? Physical therapy works with the follow-through, not just do this exercise, which is why we're talking about a lot of this stuff over and over and over again. Physical therapy works because there is accountability. We'll give you something to do. We either didn't teach you right or you did it wrong. Happens all the time, and not because people are stupid, just because it's something new, and we tweak that every week, okay? Every visit. So we're doing those kind of things. So there's my weekly disclaimer. But again, foam roller, great. If you can't tolerate it well, you can make some adjustments in regards to density and width. We do sell these in our office. So, and what we have done for many of our clients is try this out. So if you are a patient at Nephew Physical Therapy, what we will do is we'll loan you one. We often loan out equipment to our clients so they can try it, test it out. If you love it, you can buy it. If you don't love it and you won't use it after you're done with therapy, then return it. As long as it looks like what it did when we sent it home, you're good. We'll clean it up, wipe it down, reuse it for somebody else, okay? However, if you return it and it smells like it's been smoking a pack of cigarettes a day and the cat used it as a scratching claw thing, but Bob, obviously you don't have cats, you're buying it. Sorry. Okay? But again, sometimes you got to try some things out, and we want you to try out things like this because we do think it's a great investment, but don't spend money on something you're not going to use. That's why, that's why treadmills become great places to hang your clothes on, right? All right, good. So we have talked about the fact that migraine and headache sufferers may actually have an underlying neck issue, which is what we are currently seeing in the office. We've also discussed how during this isolation period in our Earth's history, in our country's history, that people are actually noticing aches and pains more than they did before. And thankfully they're starting to get help. Check. We have talked that stretching that neck isn't probably the best thing to do. We want to strengthen the shoulder blades and stretch out the chest and make sure that we're mobilizing our thoracic spine. But I also want to revisit, and this was one of the pop-up videos I did a few weeks ago, but what I wanted to revisit in another video is the question I had gotten a few weeks ago. And again, if you have a question, put it in the chat. Otherwise, just hang out. I'll just keep talking until I'm out of words. Or it hits 8 o'clock, whatever comes first. All right, so I had a request from a former patient wondering who had been treated for neck pain, okay, headaches, all that kind of stuff, and was noticing her symptoms returning. And she's like, what pillow do I use? I am a very big believer in the McKenzie cervical roll, okay? Is it so funny? I just realized I could take this off and wash it. Sorry. I don't wash it because I always put it inside my pillowcase and I wash that. Well, that's hilarious. I just gave away reality secrets right there. So what this is an opportunity when I lay on my side. See how that fits nicely in the nook of my neck? Nook of my neck, right? Or back here, okay? I don't leave home without this. Now I did have two, and unfortunately I have lost one. I've bought two, but let's see, when did my neck bother me? 2013. So, and it's lasted a long time, right? I had it for a few years, and for some reason this styrofoam, which is all it is, right? It is a tube of styrofoam, perfectly cut in this cute little zip up thing, okay? And what you do with it, I don't sell the pillows, Cindy. I know we should. I can post later on this the link to what it is, but on Amazon I think it's like 20 bucks, $22 I think. So no, we don't sell them. Maybe we should, right? It'd be a lot easier. But Amazon sells them for like 20 bucks. McKenzie cervical roll. I will after this post it in the chat what it is, but McKenzie, M-C-K-E-N-Z-I-E, cervical as in neck roll, okay? And so what you do with this, and I've had a few people try it out, they've let me know since that video they've done it, and it has made a huge difference, so good for them. In regards to the regular pillow, okay, this one is a little dense for me. You don't want one of those super flat pillows. If you have a history of neck issues, and you're going to do one of these, those flat feather pillows aren't going to work, okay? But You also don't want one that's really, really thick. So this one's just, but they, you know, it's firmer, okay? But what I do with this is I'm gonna tuck it under my pillowcase, right? Which prevents it from moving around. Now, it will, on occasion, move to the end. But I don't know if you can tell. What I'm doing is I'm basically shoving it right to the very end of my pillow, okay? Because I don't want it to be here. Can you see that? I don't want it right there. That's a little too, my neck isn't, but what I like to do is I take it and shove it right to the bottom, down here, okay? And so when I sleep, that falls right there in my neck or in the same spot on my back, okay? I had to give up sleeping on my stomach since I had a severe bulging disc in my neck. I miss laying on my tummy, sleeping on my tummy. It's my go-to start position. I still struggle with that. But this will help support that. And again, because we're specifically talking to you headache and migraine sufferers, this may be a $20 thing to try. It might make a difference in supporting your neck better because this will not allow you to be too far forward, which big thick pillows will do, but it supports you well. I can tell you if I have spent a long day again at the and things ache, oh, I've got numbness down my arm, all of those kind of things, I sometimes will just come home and lay on my back with my cervical roll and just let my neck rest in that position, okay? Which is what I love about it. So Darlene's asking about my opinion on a water pillow. So my opinion is based on the fact that I have never used one, okay? So I don't know their density. So I actually can't make an honest recommendation because I haven't tried it, because I love this. Because this holds its shape, okay? And because I know that I need that support in that curve here, okay, of my neck, and especially when I'm on my side, that it doesn't tick things off. So I would be concerned, right? And of course, whenever I get asked a question that I don't necessarily have a clear answer for, I will follow it up with two or three questions. And it makes me think of a waterbed, of course, but a water pillow means that it's going to be moved, you know, that water will disperse based on the weight of your head, okay? So I question whether or not it's giving you enough support in the areas that you need it, okay? I get the idea is that it's going to form to your head or face maybe a little bit better. I understand that. But my recommendation in regards to somebody with neck pain, Mackenzie cervical roll. That is absolutely what I would recommend. And that is also because I have also not tried my pillow. And I will also say that there are those pillows that have that kind of rolling wave. The challenge with that is there is no adjustability, okay? Which is why I like this, okay? Because I can move its position in my pillow. If I have a thicker pillow like I do right now for whatever reason, I can put it further down so it's basically on the end. If I have a thinner pillow, I can put it over here. So I can adjust that as I need to, and then I can, you know, get a pillow with enough support based on my body type. If you're a big guy with really broad shoulders, right, you're going to need a thicker pillow just to, you know, line up with that shoulder to the neck. Because the idea is to keep your head and your ears basically over your shoulders without doing this all night. Because if I did this all night, I would wake up with numbness down this arm because my disc here, which I'm just managing, right? But it doesn't. But if I do this all day, I'm going to have numbness and tingling down my arm. It's just what's going to happen. So there's this. So, and that's where finding an ideal sleeping position. And I'm not going to get into mattresses and all that kind of stuff. That's, you know, a completely different discussion. And very personal, right? And it depends on maybe who you share your bed with, right? Because those spouses might have completely different opinions about what we need to be sleeping on. So, in general, and again, I haven't seen a lot of questions, but in general, when it comes to headaches, migraines, 1, be hydrated. 2, make sure that you are not stretching and pushing your head forward. Do extension. Lay on your foam roller. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Consider a supportive Mackenzie roll to sleep with. All right? And take good care of yourself. Oh, and if it continues to persist over and over and over again, and you've checked your range of motion and you look at things, oh, and by the way, loss of shoulder motion, they're holding hands. Don't forget that neck and shoulder are holding hands. It may be time for you to come see a physical therapist, friends. Our approach, I will end on this. Our approach in physical therapy when it comes to necks is to work on posture, work on building strength, creating flexibility through the chest, resolving that disc non-dramatically by doing soft tissue massage and lots of extension, okay? Creating motion. Oh, that feels good. Sorry. And ultimately teaching you, which is why I talked about three of my favorite things to do: the foam roller, shoulder blade squeezes on your stomach, and using a Mackenzie roll. Three of my favorite things that you can do long term so you don't have to keep coming to my office. It's my job to work myself out of a job. It's my job to teach you how to live without pain, right? Because we talk about this every single week. Pain is not normal. Neck pain is not normal. Headaches are not normal. Migraines is not normal. It is not how God intended us to live. We should live and feel better. So if you need help, we're open. In case you didn't know, we've actually been open the whole time. We're just more open and more available. And we have a big open space. We opened the windows today. Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I'm telling you. Big open gym. Good stuff is happening. So I'm very hopeful. All right. So on that note, take care of yourself, friends. Please be proactive in your health. Do the simple things. You'll be shocked at how much a little bit of work will take you a long way when it comes to your body. And if you get stuck, let us know. Because pain in your neck or your headache or your migraine is not normal.